The Lakers had themselves a day. What an absolute clown show. A slow-moving train wreck that I could not take my eyes off of yesterday afternoon. And based on what they put out there yesterday, this thing is not going to turn around anytime soon, if ever at all. The Lakers are still the Lakers, utterly dysfunctional and becoming a bigger joke by the minute. Yesterday, they finally got around to actually telling Frank Vogel that he was fired. Roughly half a day after they told the entire world that Frank Vogel was fired. And if you were looking for Rob Pelinka to own how horribly he and they handled that, you were begging. There is so much blame to go around, but nobody was looking to accept any of it. And I mean nobody. All this talk about accountability and not a damn person accepting any at all. Rob Low Pelinka. It is so good. Today is not going to be a day of finger pointing. Today is not going to be a day of finger pointing. The hell are you talking about, Low? The hell you mean today is not the day of finger pointing? You just broke off your head coach. That's a finger point. And the way you did it is a middle finger point to that guy. And then acting like you didn't do it and then refusing to discuss what you think you didn't do is a middle finger point to the rest of us. Dysfunctional much, Low. Let me help you out here, Low. Firing your head coach is by definition pointing the finger. You're saying this guy is the reason we lost. This guy is the reason why this team was the biggest bust in franchise history. And the hilarious thing is, everybody knows that that's not the case. If you're firing the head coach, you're saying that a different head coach could have done a better job, and everybody knows that nobody was going to contend for crap with that crap roster. You could have taken Pop, Phillip, and Coach K, put them all on the same staff. With that crap roster, and maybe with that coaching staff, maybe you make it to the playing game. Maybe. The coach was not the problem. Oh, and neither were injuries. Another load of bull crap that LeBron, AD, and everybody else in that organization is trying to sling. Plenty of teams have plenty of injuries, and they did not go into the tank like the Lakers did. Hell, the Miami Heat, they ran 23 different lineups out there this year, and they're the top seed in the East. So stop insulting us also with this bullcrap about how we were hurt. We didn't get enough time on the floor together. The Lakers were garbage when their big three did play together, and they were garbage when the big three didn't play together.
Garbage.
The coach was not the problem. The bullcrap roster was the problem. The bullcrap organization overall is even worse. Like, at this point, there isn't anybody there who's not to blame. Yet no one is accepting any blame at all. Extreme ownership? I've never seen less ownership. Of course you're pointing the finger. You just fired your head coach. Look, again, I'm not saying that Frank Vogel did his best work ever this season. But if you think there's a coach alive who could have won anything that mattered with this crew, then you're an idiot. Pelinka couldn't even take responsibility for the easiest and most obvious thing to take responsibility for. The fact that they humiliated their championship-winning head coach by leaking the report that he'd be fired Sunday night before actually getting around to firing the guy on Monday. Instead of saying something like, we screwed that up, we handled that all wrong, Pelinka went with this instead.
In terms of media reports that are speculative and unsourced, we don't spend any of our time reacting to that type of information in terms of how we make decisions here.
Yet one problem, Robert, it was sourced. It was right there in the first sentence of that report. And it wasn't speculative. It was accurate, right down to the time frame of when Vogel would be told that he was going to be fired. Woj was 100% correct. And you 100% look like a jackass. Just own it, man. Just own it. Don't make this any worse. Don't embarrass yourself any more than you already have. But of course, that wasn't happening. No way. However, give the guy this. Give the guy this. He did effectively say, if you want to blame anybody for this crap-filled roster, go ahead. Blame me. Do not blame the GM. Oh, so you will take ultimate accountability for the roster decisions that are made. Cool. Good. Cool. Thanks for that. Now quit. Now quit. Do the right thing, Rob. Quit. Walk away. Leak to Woj today that you're going to be fired tomorrow. And then fire yourself tomorrow. Like, if you don't do that, it's just a reminder of what a garbage organization this has become. Garbage. Like, what head coach worth a damn is going to want any part of this? What head coach worth a damn is going to want to work and do a job there? Pelinka is still there. I said it yesterday. Doing Vogel, the way they did Vogel, was not just a terrible look. It was terrible for business. That no coach worth a damn would want to work for an organization that just did a guy that dirty that led them to a world championship a year and a half ago. Oh, and what do you know? What do you know? One of the guys that they are reportedly interested in, Quinn Snyder, according to the LA Times, is now, quote, less interested in the Lakers after seeing how they did Vogel. No way, really? So you need to do what's best for the organization, Rob. Quit. You put together a team that went 3 months without consecutive wins. You lost nearly 50 games. I mean, I can't be emphatic enough about this. It was the worst season in franchise history. Firing the coach is not going to fix that because that was the least of your problems. The Lakers have gone from like the class of the NBA to the most delusional organization in the association. And that says something now. And it starts at the very top, and it goes all the way down through the organization right into the locker room. Because believe me, these guys who are in the locker room are just as delusional as the people on top in the front office. They'll get their own take. But a new coach is not going to solve the problems. Not when Rob Pelinka and the Rambi are roaming the crypt. And it's all happening with the smart bus running the show. How about that? It's all happening with the smart bus running the show. I'm starting to think it might be better if the really tall bus who wanted to go to jockey school actually ran things. I mean, good luck finding a coach that matters now. Do you really think that Nick Nurse is going to want a job where he has to answer to Kurt Rambis? Do you really think that Quinn Snyder wants to balance input from Rob Pelinka and Linda Rambis, or wants to hear what the owner's ex-fiance has to say? Man, you give it a minute. You go ahead, you give it a minute. And Travis Knight and Chris Mim will be special advisors and telling the new coach what to do. Man, classless and delusional is a horrible way to go through life, Rob. But it is the Laker way. This dude's starting the presser off with, today is not going to be a day that we're going to point the finger.